Okay, we discussed private nodes and what can we use private nodes to expedite our application development. Now in this video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leverage Infura and enable a multi-wallet functionality in our React NFT Mint portal application. What we're going to do, we're going to enable WalletConnect and allow users to use multiple wallets to purchase NFTs. So we're not tying the application only to MetaMask, we're also leveraging other wallets that could interact with our smart contract. So it opens the door for more possible buyers. We don't want to limit ourselves into one single wallet. In this case, MetaMask, we can use other wallets, right? So what I'm going to do in this video, I am going to enable Web3Modal. So we need to first install the NPM, the package or the module in our React server. Once we install the module, we have to configure some parameters. So then the Web3 provider in our Connect wallet, it starts using the Web3 model instead of the native Ethereum JS Connect, right? So we need to install the Web3 model and then update our code to start using Web3 model in order for us to use multi-wallet functionalities. We are going to enable the Binance Smart Chain wallet, even though that our smart contract runs on the Ethereum network. We want to enable the Binance Smart Chain wallet. So you can see how can you also enable a BSC wallet and allow it to connect to, let's say you decide to deploy a BAC smart contract, you can use a BSC wallet to purchase NFTs, right? So we want to do that. Also, we want to enable functionality for the Coinbase wallet. And those are examples of wallets that we can use on the project, but with Web3 model, you can enable a lot of different wallets with the same application. I'm going to show that right away, okay? So let's go ahead, let's jump right in. Let's continue configuring, let's install those dependencies, and let's enable the Web3 model on our application. Let's go. What do we need to do? The first thing we have to do to allow our Web3 site to interact with multi-wallets or different kinds of wallets is that we need to configure a private node. So we have to enable a private node. In my case, I am currently logged into Infura. So what you want to do first, you want to go to infura.io, right? And you are going to create a free account that allows you, they allow you to make a free account, and then you can basically do a free private node to test your Web3, and you can use it for production as well, but there's a limitation on how many API calls can you do to their private node, okay? So once you logged into Infura and you get your account set up, the first thing you have to do, you have to go into the dashboard, right? In your dashboard, you're gonna see all the nodes that you have configured, and you're gonna see all the options that you have available to use with Infura. We talked about the IPFS network and pinning files to IPFS, so we can actually, from React, as people drop their files to mint NFTs, those files can be automatically imported or uploaded onto IPFS. So that's a great tool. We're gonna use this. We're definitely gonna use this in the upcoming videos, okay? For now, I already have an API configured for the Ethereum mainnet. We configured the smart contract, or we minted our smart contract using WrinkleBuy, so I have to create a new one. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna create a new project, and it's gonna be on the Ethereum network, and it's gonna be the Ethereum WrinkleBuy node, right? So we're gonna create a private node for the WrinkleBuy testnet. We're gonna create that. And I already got a new project, right? So this is the name of the project, and I, save changes, and I got myself a project ID. This is very important. This is how we use, or we tie this node onto React.js. So via the Web3 model, I can talk to this particular private node, right? So under the Web3 model, we're going to configure that. It's going to show the providers on the configuration itself. You're going to select your providers, and then you're going to type this project ID, and that's how I'm going to talk to Infura. You're going to see that right away. Make sure that because we're using a testnet, we want to select the right testnet, right? And this is basically this API address is going to talk to the WrinkleBuy testnet, okay? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this ID, and we already have the node configure in Infura. So we're good on the Infura side. Literally make an account, create the node, make sure that it's attached to the WrinkleBuy, and then you have your project ID, which we'll use to code the function on React, okay? Next thing we have to do, we have to install the Web3 model, and this is what I mean by the Web3 model module for NPM. And this is how we are going to enable that multi-wallet functionality on our Web3 site. So once everything is properly configured, you should see something very similar as this. You give the end user the opportunity to use either MetaMask, WalletConnect, Coinbase, or others. And we're going to configure that right now, okay? So if we keep going through the GitHub, so you just search Web3 model on GitHub, and then once you get into the how-to page or the wiki page, it's literally telling you how you're going to be using it, right? So in this case, obviously, we have to install the module. So what we want to do, we want to npm install, then save in Web3 model. We do that on our server. So let me go to my server. You are very familiar with this already. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to Control-C, okay? And then I am going to install. I already installed it. That's fine. I can go ahead and install it again. That's no problem. So once this is installed, then I can start coding. And also I want to take a look and see what my requirements are for certain wallets, because there are certain wallets that will require you to install some dependencies as well. So that's why it's very important to take a look at the GitHub site for the Web3 model and understand what we need to do. So this is basically what we're gonna do, right? So what I need to do now, I am going to code this in a bit, but first I want to show you the requirements for the wallets that we want to enable. In this case, I want to enable WalletConnect. I want to enable the Binance Chain wallet and Wallet Link. Wallet Link is the Coinbase wallet, okay? So we're just going to enable all those three, okay? So let me click on the WalletConnect and see what the requirements are for WalletConnect. So you can see here, I do need to install a provider package first. So after installing the Web3 model, which we already did, I am going to install this as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy. Let's go to our server and install that as well. Okay, once that's done, I am going to take a look at the Binance chain and make sure that if it requires also a provider package, we install it as well. So let me go ahead and do that. So I got this here. Let me go back and let's go back here and Binance Smart Chain. And it says that for Binance, I do not need a provider package. I only need to call it on the Web3 model so it gets enabled. Okay, and we're going to do that, and you're going to see that right now. Okay. And finally, we want to enable the Coinbase wallet. So in this case, Wallet Link, and let's see. And yes, we do have a provider package that we have to install. Let me just copy this, copy and paste. It was made for something, right? And paste, enter, installed. Okay, so we got all the dependencies installed. Let's go to React. Okay. Let's go to the Visual Studio Code and let's build this application. Or let's enable this functionality, right? So the first thing we got to do, let's scroll all the way to the top because we have to call those modules. So the first module that I have to import is obviously the Web3 model, because that's what we are going to code to enable this multi-wallet functionality. Second thing that I have to enable is the WalletConnect, because we have to install also a dependency for WalletConnect. And basically this is how you do it. Web3 model from Web3 model, WalletConnect provider from WalletConnect Web3 provider. I'm gonna share the link to the full config file, so don't worry about it. Okay. Finally, the wallet link. Copy, paste. Okay. So we now got the wallet link. Cool. So we got all three dependencies imported. Now let's go ahead and configure that that particular functionality. So in order for us to do that, first thing I gotta do, I gotta create a list of providers. And when we say providers, those are my Web3 wallets that I'm going to enable with Web3Modal. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a constant below here. And this is also part of the GitHub wiki page. So let me go ahead and show that real quick. So if we go back, you're gonna see here, you have to enable, right, the provider options, and it's telling you, hey, see provider options section. So I have to go down into the provider sections, and this is how I can basically, call each one of them. So in my case, I already got most of the stuff configured. So I'm going to select, create this constant provider options. And inside this constant, I am going to call those three providers that I want to enable for my site. Okay. So in this case, I want to enable first the Binance Chain wallet. And basically the way we do it is we insert the name of the provider and the package, and we set the Boolean to be true. Okay. So we need to make sure that it's enabled, it's true. And that's how it's shown on the actual site. Okay. So this is done. And by the way, this information, you can see that on the provider options. When you click provider, it tells you how to invoke on the code itself. But I already have everything ready to go. Okay, so this is the fun part right here. So I'm going to enable WalletConnect, right? And WalletConnect does require an Infura ID. And remember, we enable this provider in the Infura account, right? So what I need to do now, I got to go back into my WalletConnect. I have to go back into Infura and grab the project ID, right? We're going to copy this project ID. Let's go back. And I am going to throw this provider right here, okay? This is how we invoke. This is how we tell the Web3Modal, hey, please make sure that the Infura is targeting this particular ID. And that's how you go ahead and connect, right? So make sure that that's happening. And we should be able to see that once we start interacting with this wallet or this particular provider, we should see the counter incrementing on Infura, okay? That tells us that we're 100% good to go, okay? So now we have to close this particular provider. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to paste this in, and that basically it's closing this particular section, start opening here, closing here, opening here, closing here. Because we have options, we have to open and close another one. So that's good, okay? Finally, we are going to enable the wallet link provider, in this case, the Coinbase wallet, okay? And for that, we have to add a couple of things as well. And I'm going to show you inside the options. The first thing I gotta do is I gotta name the application, right? So in this case, I'm just gonna name it the NF2Dev Web3 NFT Mentor, okay? So I'm just gonna label it this way. Copy. I got everything prescripted. So I got it right here. So you can see I just label it NF2Dev NFT Mentor. You can name it anything you want. And if your ID, guess what? It's gonna be the same as this one. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Okay. And I also have to tell the RPC address. In this case, hey, am I talking straight to the mainnet or not? In this case, we're using an Infura address or an Infura ID. So we're telling wallet link, hey, use this particular provider, right? So that should be fine. I also have to specify the chain ID. This is very important, right? So the chain ID, and by the way, I am missing a comma here. Yeah, there you go. So the chain ID is basically the Ethereum chain ID or the blockchain. So you're telling it chain ID 1 means this is the mainnet. This is not the case. We're actually using WrinkleBuy. So let's take a look at and let's see what's the chain ID for WrinkleBuy, okay? So let me take a look at that real quick. Okay, and I got a site open with the chain. And WrinkleBuy chain ID 4. So we know the Ethereum mainnet is chain ID 1, and any other network, it's, you got the chains right there, but we're focusing on WrinkleBuy, so we have to make sure that the chain ID is number 4. So let's go ahead back, And let's get chain ID number 4. That looks good. And if you have a URL, I just leave that as null. I don't have a particular application logo. And dark mode, meaning that if you want to have dark, black theme, you can just enable this to be true, okay? So once that's done, I have to close my provider itself, and I have to close the entire constant with a bracket right here and semicolon, okay? Now we got to enable the Web3 model itself. So that's very important. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to create another constant, right? The other constant name will be Web3 model. Inside Web3 model, the network, it's wrinkle by because we're using the network to be wrinkle by. Theme, make sure that it's dark. And cache provider, leave it as true. And no provider options, just leave it as it is, okay? Now we have a constant that is going to talk to Web3 model. And then we need to use this to invoke the Web3 connection, okay? Instead of leaving it default to the Ethereum, window.ethereum, we're just gonna use this particular Web3 model. It will allow us to use more than just one wallet, okay? Okay, awesome. So let me go down, and now this is where we make the magic happen, okay? Because we don't need to invoke window.ethereum. We just need to invoke the new provider. I can actually leave this or clean this out. And boom. And now instead, what I have to do, I have to call the Web3 model onto a variable and call it provider. So then we can talk to the particular that provider, okay? So I am going to create a var called provider, okay? And then we're going to wait for the signal from the end user to connect. In this case, it's just going to talk to Web3 model, there we go, .connect. So this is basically how we tell, hey, use Web3 model. Once this is invoked, the only thing that I have to tell React is instead of using window.ethereum, what you're going to do, you're going to use this provider, which ties to this particular model. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to type provider. Boom. And this should turn on. Let's give it a few, and this should turn. There you go. Turn on. So that means that now my Web3 connection is going to be used using the Web3 model, which then is going to talk to the particular constant, which at the end is going to talk to the networks that I'm allowing on the providers, okay? And that's about it. By the way, also now the min function doesn't need to have an if window.ethereum because at this point we're just using that particular provider, okay? So I am going to close this. I don't need to leave this open, and boom, that should do it. And that's about it. I think we are good. Let's save this, right? And run it and see how that goes. Save it. Okay. And now let me go ahead and start the server. Run start. Let's wait for the server to finish starting and we'll take a look. Okay, so it looks like it's coming online. Let's see if we don't run into any errors. Boom. Oh, there you go. What I'm going to do now, I am going to connect the wallet. There you go. This is what we want to see. Now we got the option to continue using MetaMask. We can use the Binance chain. You can use also the Coinbase wallet. That's wallet link. And then finally, WalletConnect. When we click WalletConnect, let's use WalletConnect for example. Boom, we have the QR code. Now we can use this QR code to scan it with the WalletConnect app on our phones, and then we can talk to MetaMask on the phone as well, or any other wallet that is supported into this particular smart contract, okay? So last thing I have to do, I have to literally grab this and go ahead and copy the QR code, and I should be able to trigger the NFT mint, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I am going to try to make a call to see if Infura is it's reflecting the calls, okay? So let me go ahead and do this. I am going to grab my phone and we are going to scan that and see if that works, okay? So I am going to open it in MetaMask and boom, it's actually opening my wallet. Let's see. Let me refresh. And sure enough, I am definitely getting requests, and that is a fact. So I can see a lot of requests coming in. So now I know that my dApp is connected to Infura. So it takes a little bit of time to show requests coming in. I believe I need to select wrinkle by, and let's see how long it will take. I think it's 24 hours. So after 24 hours, I should see some activity going here, okay? But that is a great thing. I know that I'm connected 100%. Now definitely this is incrementing. So we are good to go on this one, okay? Awesome. Okay, you saw it. The Web3 model gives us the flexibility of not only tying the application to one particular wallet, it allows us to offer the NFT collection to mobile buyers. So now mobile buyers can use their smartphones and invoke their mobile wallets to make the purchase and to interact with the smart contract. We can also allow buyers to use their Coinbase wallet. We can allow them to use any other value, any other wallet that we have available based on what we coded on the Web3 model provider list. And you saw the provider list. We just need to enable the providers that we want to allow. And on the module, on the Web3 model itself, we are going to see those wallet options available for the end user so they can choose whatever they want, okay? Alrighty, awesome. So I hope you liked this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. That will definitely help me a lot. Please also don't forget to subscribe and stick around because we're gonna start working with an NFT marketplace, and that's gonna be very fun. That involves a lot of configuration, but as we start diving into Web3 and exploring, you're gonna start realizing that there's so much that we can do besides just NFTs. Stick around and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.